Yo, YouTube, what it do? It's your guy CJ, back with another video, back with another episode of the CJ Wilkins YouTube channel. I'm gonna talk about sports today, man. I don't really use this channel for sports. I have another sports channel that I'm working on, getting started, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this out on here. Can someone tell me, it's been enough time now, since the whole trade happened, and I reside in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, man, but can someone tell me, what did I miss about the Luka trade? Can someone tell me who's more educated, who's more knowledgeable about, the workings of the Mavericks organization? Can someone tell me why are people upset at Nico Harrison? I don't get it. I don't understand it. And let me say this first. Yes, I do think that it was a phenomenal trade. I really do. Do I think Luka is an incredible talent? I really think he is a elite scorer. I think he's one of those guys that can really score at a high level. And like the statistics will tell you that, man. But by the same token, do I believe Luka is a player that you're ever going to win a championship with? I absolutely do not. I don't think he has a lot of the components that you need if you're looking to build a championship team. I don't think he has all of the components necessary to be the best player on a championship team. I just don't see it. I do not see it at all, man. Like, being like a basketball savant and like a fan of the game and really just analyzing and studying the game for a long time, Luka can do a lot of things on the court. He's a great ball handler. He's a great scorer, phenomenal shooter. He knows how to go and pick his spots on offense. But Luka is a great liability to a team in other areas. He is absolutely non-existent on the defensive end of the floor. He's constantly out of shape, which leads to a lot of the injury problems that he has, right? Because if you're not in shape, if your body isn't in the most pristine condition fit to endure an 82-game regular season and then a playoff run, you're going to have a lot of injuries, right? And I don't know what it is about this new age of NBA young stars who are always hurt, man. They play basketball a lot, but I don't know. There's a big difference between how players in yesteryear took care of their bodies, right? Because I don't remember Kobe missing a lot of games. I don't remember Russell Westbrook in his prime sitting games out. I don't remember or recall Michael Jordan resting when he's healthy. I don't recall Magic or Bird or Dominique or Tim Duncan just sitting out during their prime early in their careers, and these guys are 24, 25, 26, and they're sitting out 30 games a year just because. They're not hurt, they're not injured. I guess they call it injury prevention or whatever, but back to Luka, man. I think Luka is a phenomenal scorer, right? But at the end of the day, for a team like Dallas to win a championship, you're going to have a compilation of great players, or you need at least one generational player. And I honestly do not think or believe, and I don't think most people who really know basketball believe that Luka is a generational talent. Players who come in and they have this high shot volume mentality. If you give the average NBA player 25 attempts per night, they can give you 25 to 30 points per game. A lot of players can, right? So that within itself isn't very impressive as far as if we're trying to build a championship team, right? So you have a guy who's out of shape. You have a guy who does not play defense. Derek White in the finals against the Celtics. Derek White in the finals against the Mavericks last year with Luka guarding him most of the time, Derek White was looking like Allen Iverson out there. Derek White is a perennial role player. He's a role player on a championship team. He may be a third option, maybe second on a horrible team, but Derek White is not. He shouldn't have looked as great against the Mavericks as he looked last year. And he looked so great last year, and he had a standout series, mostly in part because Luka couldn't cover a king-size mattress with a king-size blanket. He just doesn't play defense, you know. And some people will say he was injured or whatever, but at that juncture in the season, if you ever played a sport at any level, right, everyone's hurt. The deeper you go into a season or the deeper you go into the playoffs. If you're injured, you shouldn't be on the field or on the court. But if you're playing and you've played a good amount of games, something on you is going to hurt. Shoulder may be bad. Legs may be gone. Back may be sprained. Hips may be unaligned. Something. You've had a sprain, a twist, or something throughout the season, right? So I don't want to hear the apologist saying, "Oh, he was hurt, he was injured." Nah, man. If you're out there, bro. So it looked like it created the optics of a player giving up on his team in the championship series. I think it was bad whole series, but game 3 was when it looked like Luka just did not want to even be out there on the defensive end. Now, offensively, he will most definitely be the black hole that he is. Dribble, run out the shot clock, either bail out and, pass the ball with 2 seconds left so Kyrie can bail him out, or he'll take some ill-advised, deep three for no reason. But he's not a player who has the ability to make players around him better. That's why you always have to admire the true generational talents. You have to admire the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, the LeBron James, the Dwayne Wades, guys who genuinely lift and elevate players around them. Allen Iverson took Eric Snow and Tyrone Hill to the NBA Finals. If you don't know who those people are, if you're young, Google. Tyrone Hill and Eric Snow went to the NBA Finals, and the elderly Dikembe Mutombo went to the Finals on the back of Allen Iverson. Generational talent. So a player that gave up on his team in the finals, doesn't play defense, out of shape, complains to the ref after every miss. Apparently, he's fouled every time he misses a shot, right? Great scorer, phenomenal scorer, but basketball is played on offense and defense, right? And if you have a guy who's a liability, many times in that Boston series in the finals, right? And if you speak to a real basketball fan or a Mavs fan, or not even a Mavs fan, just anyone who is objective and they have a moderately high basketball IQ, a lot of times when Boston would come down with Luka on the floor, it was literally 5 against 4 in favor of Boston. Luka might as well had shoot the ball, go sit down on the bench, wait for the ball to come back down on offense. That was how ineffective he was defensively, And being that useless or not valuable, I'll say, on the defensive end of the court, when you're coming up on contract negotiation talks, right? This is a new ownership group, right? You have to really examine, right? So Luka, for all intents and purposes, for what he does bring, would be a player in today's, collective bargaining agreement. He would be a super max player. You have the max players, but then you have the super max guys like the Giannis's, who's the super max guy? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jokic in Denver. Guys like that. Guys who are just otherworldly, right? Luka falls within that category. Jason Tatum's, guys like that. So if you're an owner of a organization and it's coming time to where you're going to have to pay your top guy top money, right? it's time to give out a super max. If you're going to give out a super max to a player, that player needs to provide super max effort, not just offensively. We know Luca offensively can stand with the best of them. He's a wizard offensively. I will give him that. He's not a great facilitator when it comes to running an offense effectively to make sure other people are involved. He kind of plays like James Harden when he was in Houston. Not James Harden with the Clippers. James Harden with the Clippers has really redefined his game and his play style to extend his career. Because I didn't see James Harden still going at an all-star level at this point. James Harden is playing out of his mind for the Clippers this year. If you know, you know. But when James Harden was in Houston, James Harden was a black hole on offense also. Dribble, dribble, dribble. The other four players just standing around looking at him, trying to see, is he going to shoot or is he going to give me the ball with 3 seconds on the shot clock left because he dribbled away 19 seconds for no fucking reason. That's Luka. That is Luka. So if you're an owner, if you are the board of directors, if you're the board of governors for the Dallas Mavericks, and you're looking at giving a guy $400 million for the next 6 or 7 years, but this guy doesn't play defense, gave up on his team in the finals, isn't in shape. I think some reports came out and said that Luka was inflated to 285 pounds. A 290-pound point guard who is also, because he's overweight, probably out of shape. Because he's out of shape, he's going to be probably injury prone. He's been all three, right? I think he missed 20 games before the trade, right? And then to have the audacity to kind of blow up on a GM for saying, hey, it wouldn't be a good decision to pay a max salary to a guy who doesn't give maximum effort. And you could easily retort that and say, well, hey, a lot of guys in the league make max money and they don't have a max drive or a max hunger for the game, right? And then you enter into a game of semantics to where you say, well, hey, what about, and I don't care about the what about isms. I could really give a flying you know what. But at the end of the day, it makes more sense from an organizational standpoint to commit to a player long term who shows a desire to compete on both ends of the floor. It's easy to win championships with Tim Duncans, with Kobe Bryants, with LeBron Jameses, with Michael Jordans, with Hakeem Olajuwons, with Larry Birds, with Magic Johnsons, with Kareem Abdul-Jabbars, Steph Curry's. It's easy to win championships with players like that, with the Giannis's, with the Jokic, guys like that, because they're generational talent. And they're not just generational talent, they're generational talent who literally show effort. Now, are some of those guys lockdown defenders? Absolutely not. No. But there's a desire for the game to where if they're not making the effort, if they're not great defensively, at least you can say the effort is being made to protect the scoreboard, So getting upset and with the fire Nico chants and all that craziness that I'm seeing online and Dallas media. Dallas sports media is incredibly trash. I'm talking about, these are people who are paid to talk about sports, but it doesn't sound like they're too keen to really examining all angles and all of the potentialities of why a trade is a good idea or a bad idea, right? And you trade and you get a top 5 big man in Anthony Davis, world champion, Olympian, has his injury problems, but at full health is a guy you could really win with. And Max Christie, a young player who shows a lot of promise, who has a lot of potential in this league. Dallas got significantly better with this trade. I know it's not the popular opinion to say this, but I really thoroughly believe Dallas won this trade. The Lakers got what they needed. They needed a new face for the organization. I'm sure LeBron is on his last leg, so they got what they needed. But Dallas needed to get a big post player that can score and put the ball in the basket, and also defend the Jason Tatums of the world if they do go back to the finals. But also bring in a young backcourt player who has the potentiality to be a great starter and scorer for the backcourt position to assist Kyrie. So they got what they needed. I think it was a great trade. I get how it can be like shocking to some people, but if you really sit down and think about what both teams needed and what both teams got, Anthony Davis being able to go back to his natural position at the power forward and let Lively and Gafford play the 5. Kyrie goes back to the point guard, his natural, regular position, where he can thrive and orchestrate the offense like the great composer he is on offense. I think it makes a lot of sense. Be sure to comment below, man. Let me know how y'all feel about the Luka trade. Whether you are for it or against it, I'd love to hear your opinion. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'm out. Peace.